Hello, this is a short video to show you, those of you that are brand new to forms, how to get started creating a form. If you're an experienced form user, you may not need to watch this video. It's up to you. So I'm in Canvas and I'm reading through the information. I'm going to read through everything on the page so I get the big picture of what's expected of me. And then I'm going to go about creating my form and getting the link to submit. So after reading this information, I see I need about 2 or 3 sets of questions here. So I'm going to go to my Google Drive. Oh, and there's also a planning guide. So if I click here, I've got it set up so it opens in a new tab, and this will help me to create the form. It tells me what kind of questions to ask and the type of question to ask. So again, this is helpful if you're brand new to doing forms. To get started, I'm going to go to my drive and I'm going to find my class folder. I have several folders in here, so I created one just for this class. Here it is. So I already have one in here. I'm going to go ahead and create a new form. You probably have your PD log in there. I'm going to go down to where it says More, and I'm going to select Google Forms. Now, the reason I start in the class folder is that it will automatically be saved there if I go into my class folder first. If I don't, then I just have to move it in there so that when I want to submit it, I can quickly find it. This is the what's going to look like. It's going to say Untitled, and it's going to give me at least one question. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to title this form so I can find it. This is for Module 1.2, and it's a committee sign up. I click here where it says Untitled here. It's going to copy this from the file name. This is what I find I will see in my folder. This is what the participants will see. I probably don't want them to see that it's a module 1.2, so I could delete that, or I could change it to be whatever I want. So it gives, by default, it gives me a first question. And so if I'm looking at my either Canvas list of information or the guide, the first thing I want to know is who's participating, who's answering my form. So we call those identifier questions. So I'm going to ask for their first name. And Google has added prediction services in their form, so it's going to predict for you what type of question it thinks you want. But of course, you can always change it to a different question type, and these are the ones we have available. But I do want a short answer. Remember, some of these questions are required, so down in the lower right-hand corner, I'm going to turn on that required option. And this simply means that they cannot submit the form until they've given me this information. All right, let's add another question. I want to know their last name. And the reason I'm asking these separately is because I may want to sort some information, and if I have their last name separate from their first name, then it'll be an easy sort when I analyze my data. The next question is, I may need their email address. Okay, again, it's predicting the short answer, and that is correct. Now, for those advanced, I'm going to make it required. For those advanced users, you can start exploring these 3 dots down here and explore response validation. So I can say I want text here, and I want text that is an email address. And so it's going to look for something at nv.ccsd.net or whatever your email address. So those are advanced options. Feel free to use those or not. They're not required for this assignment. So those are my identifiers. This is who is going to be giving me this information, and I've identified the required settings. Okay, let's look back at my guide. So there's a couple optional questions. So you can ask for their department or grade level. If it's a district-wide form, you might want to know their work location or their school location. So these are optional. Feel free to add them if you want, or not. Now we want to know some answers about the committees they want to serve on. So what committee do they want to serve on? And we're going to give them however many committees in your school, 3 or 4, and we're going to ask them to select the top 2 they would like to serve on. We're going to ask if they've been on a committee previously, and then we're going to try and find out what the best day of the week to meet. And so these are, again, suggestions for the type of questions. Let's go back to our form and ask a new question. And I'm going to say, select the top 2 committees you would like to sign up. However you want to write these. Okay, so and then where it says option 1, I'm going to type in my first committee. Maybe I have a safety committee. Maybe there's a social committee. I don't know which ones you have, so just type in whatever you have. It's predicting sizes, but that's not really what I want here. So maybe there's a principal. I could type here. So here's just some examples. And I've got an actual, school climate, yeah. So I've got an actual accidental option 5 here. I'm just going to remove that. I don't want that on there. Okay, now what type of questions should be? They can select more than one option here. In fact, we want them to select 2. So checkbox is the correct type of answer. It allows me to answer or select more than one option. All right, so what's next on my list? Have they served on a committee before? So I'm going to do new question. Again, they're going to make a suggestion as multiple choice. I can select yes, no. I'm not going to put maybe in there because that doesn't make sense. It's either a yes or no answer. Now, again, they say multiple choice would be the best question for this. It could actually be multiple choice or a drop down. So you can kind of explore and play with those if you want to see which one you like best. Okay, next on my list is find out the best day of the week to meet. Okay, so again, it's going to suggest I want to put all of these in, but I actually don't want Saturday and Sunday, so I'm just going to go back and remove those. But it was faster for me to select all and then just remove the ones I don't want. So maybe you don't have any committee meetings on Monday, then take that option away. Again, multiple choice gives them only one selection. If you want to give them more than one, want them to give you more than one day, then you would change it to check boxes. Okay. Again, explore those. So what's the last thing? Advanced users find out the earliest time they could be at a meeting. Okay. I won't go through that right now, but those of you that are more advanced will be able to figure that out. And the last one, provide an opportunity to gather any additional information the teacher wants to share. So maybe there's special circumstances that they need you to know about. So we could just say, please share any additional information or questions you may have. And again, it's predicting the paragraph. Again, they might type in a short answer. They might type in a longer answer. The paragraph gives you more room than the short answer does. Now you notice I didn't make any of these required. I might go back and make this one required just because I do want them to select committees. Now, do I care if they've served or not? That may not be required. The best day of the week may not be required. So those are up to you. The ones that are absolutely required on the committee form are these first three: teacher's name, last name, and email address. So make sure you have that set. Okay, so I have my form created. Now the first thing I need to do is test it as if I were a participant. It's so important to review and preview your forms before you send them out. So just as you would before you send them to other people, I want you to preview it and test it before you submit it for a class. So I don't know if you saw that. Let me close that because I went a little fast. Up here are icons that we'll be using throughout the class. This one is a preview, which takes you to the live form. And this is exactly what a participant would see as they fill out their form. So I'm just going to fill this in. Select the top two committees. I would like to be on the school claimant and the principal advisory committee. Now, could I select all four? Yes. So you're just going to kind of rely on them to only select two. Have you served on one previously? Yes, I have. What's the best day of the week? I would prefer to meet on Tuesday. And I can change this up. So you can see the differences between these check boxes and this multiple choice. Please share any information you have. I have kids in daycare. So after school is more difficult. And then I'm going to submit it. All right, so I have successfully created my first form. I can click on the responses option here to see the information that I submitted. So I didn't see anything wrong. So I don't see anything that I need to fix up. So I'm ready to submit this to Canvas. I can use the same preview link. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to copy this URL. Just click on the URL, copy, and then I'll go into Canvas, and on the next page, I'll actually submit the assignment. So that's how you create a first form, and that's how you will find the URL to submit to Canvas. Good luck on creating your first Google form.